Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to not really another episode of TOWIDAP. I'm the actual host of the one where I do a podcast, not in character.
Yeah, I'm the actual co-host. This is real talk time.
Real talk. We're doing kind of a retrospective about why we made the show, the podcast, and yeah,
It's
what
kind of
like kind
like
of the thought process behind it.
yeah, it's kind of like one of those bonus episodes at the end of Survivor or Big Brother.
Right. It's like a bonus episode. It's kind of behind the scenes because obviously, if you've listened to the podcast, a lot of stuff isn't. They're all bits. A lot of it is the show. Why we made it, I think, was based around like the idea of like meta humor. To make like a podcast where the main jokes aren't just what are being said, but taking advantage of like the podcast format to make jokes in that setting. You know what I mean?
Podcasts are making a lot of money right now with all this coronavirus stuff.
Yeah, we don't make any money from the podcast, but
But our characters do.
but our character, right? Like that's part of. They're definitely our characters are people who
They're
take
rich.
it. They're rich. Yeah, they're maybe rich, and they're definitely willing to take advantage of a situation like that. And I think in my mind, the characters do actually really like the show Friends. So they are sincere, at least in their love for that.
Our
Um,
characters are very sincere about it. But
and
in reality,
that's pretty
Friends
much
is a
it.
terrible show.
Friends is not very good. We watched the most recent episode for this one, the one with the boobies, and there's just not enough to talk about to even fill like 10 minutes of a show. Trying to analyze
All the
Friends
jokes are pretty predictable.
they're
We could have
predictable.
probably written it.
Yeah, sometimes we're doing it and we'll be talking over it, and I'm like, wait, just can you back up? They did make a joke about this, right? Just to double check that. That's what it feels like. You're almost checking off boxes when you watch the show. To each their own, but yeah. Half. Sorry, go for it.
Seeing Rachel's bazoombas, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's probably the only good part of the show, to be honest. So, what else do we want to talk about? Obviously, let me pause for a second. Part of the reason that there's almost nothing to talk about then like automatically lends itself to us making a show where the bits are, based around, we make obviously like small plot arcs and stuff and that's what the show's based around, and not so much the show being based around Friends.
Yeah, we almost want to make like a continuous sort of lore for the show.
Right. Yeah. There's like I think that was a big part of what we were trying to do, is make like a lore and a backstory that you could follow, but isn't being told to you in like a regular like narrative kind of way where we actually say what's happening. But to an extent, that's all our characters can do. They just because there's obviously no visual along with the show, so what you hear is all you get. So, and that can present some difficulties, and a lot of which we probably like came up short on, I'd imagine, because with like editing software and stuff, you're obviously limited in how much you can do. We're only two people. So one thing I also wanted to talk about is, and we do it a lot on the show, is I assume there's a name for this, and I don't know what it is for like what it's actually called, but kind of like a progressive improv. So if one of us says something that could have like big ramifications for like the world that like the show takes place in or whatever, we just go with it. And that's just like a permanent thing for the rest of the show.
Yeah, never say no unless it's really dumb.
Right. We never say, sometimes we do have to back up and be like, okay, that was too, like, I don't know about that one. I don't know if we can roll with that. But a lot of the stuff,
We had a bit about gay people making earthquakes. We had to fucking yeet
gay
that
people
out of
making
here.
earthquake. That was probably a no-go. But we went forward with like the computers not being invented till 2010.
Because
took
we
that one on the
killed
chin.
what's his name?
Because Alan Turing did
Yeah.
die. Yeah. That was definitely one of the longer bits I think that we've had to actually take time to like plan out. Because it's ridiculous, and it involves time travel
Effect.
and the butterfly effect, and just a lot of stuff. And if anybody actually critically analyzed that, they'd be like, this doesn't make any sense. And,
String theory checks out on that one.
Yeah, I don't know if we did the scientific research to actually make sure that one That one made sense. But that's another thing. I mean, that literally has nothing to do with Friends, which is the so-called, um, like premise behind the podcast. And like I think when I look back on it, most of the memorable parts are almost none of it has to do with Friends. So
It's just there to keep us grounded.
It's there to keep us grounded, yeah, and it kind of gives us like a baseline for the show and like what we can initially talk about, and then kind of dive down whatever rabbit holes we want to go down. So, all right, so if you had to say, I mean, looking back at the show, the bit that something that you're most satisfied with how it turned out, and something that you're least satisfied with how it turned out, what do you think that would? What do you think those would be?
I'd say the best one was the Remington gun ad, which just like you don't know what happens. You just hear a gunshot.
Oh, that one was good. I did that. That was probably kind of when we started introducing those like more meta elements. And that one also because it leaves so much open to be like interpreted. And
we're getting paid to promote this product, but we just promoted it by saying you could kill someone with it.
Right, yeah, just totally murder someone with a gun, which is honestly hilarious. I mean, in its own twisted way. Not to toot our own horn, but
toot.
Yeah, that's probably also, I want to say, the first gunshot on the show.
Yeah, which brings me to my least favorite, which is that same exact one, because I start laughing towards the end of it.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that. Yeah, it was hard. There was a lot of times where, even for only a 2-man, I can't imagine if we had to do this with like multiple people. I don't think I could do it. But with only 2 people, still we break on a lot of the bits. So, and then some of them you probably are wondering. You hear that and you're like, they're too stupid. How could you ever break on any of these bits? They're not funny at all. But I don't know.
Well, leave us alone.
Yeah, leave us alone. Just shut up. Why are you watching the show? Listening to the show?
Just hanging out on the fucking internet.
Yeah, shut up. You suck. Yeah, I don't know what my favorite would be. That one's up there now that I think of it. I think one of the other ones is when killing the kidnapper. I think I like that bit quite a bit.
I forgot the whole kidnapper thing, dude.
The kidnapper thing. I like that one just because it was also took like a while to develop.
So we started just yelling at the assistant randomly.
There's some I don't want. Yeah, the assistant got bullied a lot and he died.
Well, we have a new assistant, I think.
I think so in the lore. I don't know if I even want to say what my least favorite is, because if somebody didn't notice, I don't want to call attention to like an editing error, but they definitely exist if you listen to the show. Where it's just something just didn't work out, especially with like voice changing and stuff like that, where I think if you're astute, you'll be like, oh, that was not what was supposed to happen there, what they were intending. And it comes up a lot. So I don't know. I think and every time, like whenever we do the show with the next bit, I want to do that's like my favorite bit at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like whatever you've done most recently.
Right. Definitely a big recency bias. But I mean, that's what's fun about it, is because then you get excited to do like an episode. And that, that keeps it like interesting, because I think if it was a podcast where we actually were just analyzing something, I'd get really bored really fast, because there's no room for like new.
Yeah, I mean, because you can analyze a Friends episode in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, especially with Friends, or even with anything else. Like this podcast really, for what seems like such a bland premise, actually gives us like a lot of freedom, I think, to do whatever we want, or within the bounds of like it being a podcast, which we definitely don't do now that I think of it. Like, I mean, we cheat like a lot and do stuff that wouldn't obviously be recorded in a podcast format, or wouldn't be like our characters wouldn't post per se. It wouldn't be in character for them. But that, I mean, that's part of the fun of the show. So
so we're just. Speaking of which, I think we could use like an extra team member, maybe like an editor or something to help us out,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm definitely very limited in the skills I implement for it. And I mean, there's so many different parts. We could honestly like have a huge team for something like this to do how many different sound effects and stuff we want to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's all just basically writing and then just doing bits.
Yeah. I mean, that's the part we do. And then, like I said, I mean, there's definitely parts that I think we wish would have turned out better. So, but yeah, I mean, if you don't, then like PM us on like YouTube, or I think we're gonna start putting the show like other places as well, and let us know what you think, or if you are willing to help out. I think we also probably need to make like a Twitter and stuff. Maybe harass. I think my ultimate pipe dream is if we could actually get one of the friends to be on the show. Like honestly, I don't know what we'd even do. What? Sorry.
Even if it's a real sound clip.
Yeah, or something. Just like for just anything that would
like if what's his name? If Ross, he sends me like just hate mail, like that's real.
That would sick. Make my life.
It'd be
yeah,
sick.
Any connection with the actual show Friends would honestly be amazing. I would die if that would happen. So I would die of happiness. Not the no ill will to any of like the Friends or anybody who actually likes the show Friends, but I mean we are kind of goofing on it the whole time by having this podcast. So, speaking of advertisements, I mean also we do like parody advertisements. But I was wondering if like hypothetically if the show had a large viewer base, like do you think anybody would actually endorse the show? Because you wouldn't be able to tell if the ad is real or not, right? We've already built kind of a
there's companies like Dollar Shave Club, like those meme companies probably.
Do you think they'd get in on it? But then you couldn't even tell if we're just making fun of them. You know what I mean? Like if it's
I think some companies are into that,
Maybe, yeah, I guess if you just get the name out there. I mean, by that logic, I guess we've already done like advertisements for.
Yeah, so we need some back pay probably, but
yeah, for I think Remington owes us some money.
Send us a couple of guns, honestly.
Send us some guns, dude. Yeah, sure, we could use that for the pod. We make our own gun sound effects, then don't have to find those royalty-free ones, dude. That'd be a game changer, honestly, and we could do it from different angles and stuff. So.
And we could just set up a range and just slowly stop podcasting and then just become like our own.
Just have a different job. Just do something else. Yeah.
We just pivot this whole thing.
Just pivot the whole thing. Yeah. Well, also, I mean, most of the gunshots occur indoors, so that's kind of tricky to do on a range. So we'd have to figure out a way to figure that out.
Okay, I live in my mom's basement, so.
Yeah, I mean,
we're down here.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, the podcast hasn't taken off. You know what I mean? So we're still not destitute. Obviously, this isn't our livelihood, but I mean, certainly the show would definitely be harder to put on a schedule. I think we'd need more people, or at least like a lot. We'd have to like sit down and write out like a lot of ideas before we could really do an episode every week. You know what I mean? Because
we need like a legit like editor, and then we
legit
could just
editor
write stuff.
Yeah, just a lot of writing, because the show is I mean, we've already like bent it so much, and it's not even a podcast anymore. Like a lot of even the most basic stuff, like a phone call, doesn't even occur on a podcast when you think about it. That would be a radio show, right?
Yeah, but I mean, tomato.
Yeah, because I mean, there's no unless it was live, which I mean, some podcasts are, but most aren't.
What's going on?
What?
Guess I'll see who it is. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, it's me, Mario. I'm a big fan of the podcast. Just calling in to say hello to real hosts and see how you are doing.
Is this a joke?
Is this a prank? Does somebody know we're doing the studio time right now? No, dude, I didn't. That sounds... I mean, they might have taken the clip from one of the other episodes, but...
Some dark web hackers.
No, it's really me, Mario. Just say I love the show. I love a breakdown of, humor. Talk about the meta humor. It's very funny to me. Ha ha ha.
How do you even know? How is he even hearing this? This isn't live.
Man. This is pretty good. I don't know if somebody like made a deep fake or something, but that's like a pretty good Mario voice, dude.
Insane.
Anyways, remember to buy a Mario's Spaghetti using discount code Mario on mariosspaghetti.com. Head on, it delivered very fast, even during COVID-19. And thank you guys. Love you. Bessimo.
Yay.
All
See
right.
you later.
Yeah, what? Wow. I mean, I guess we'll take that as a sign of appreciation from the fans of somebody who's willing to actually figure out the studio we're at and all that stuff.
Kind of creepy, but
Kind of creepy, but appreciate it for sure. And a lot of effort had to go into that. So yeah, we appreciate that, and it kind of keeps up like the comedic spirit of this show. So thanks, I guess. Yeah, didn't expect that, but like I was saying, I mean, there's a lot of like things that wouldn't be obviously if there was somebody actually editing the podcast who really was trying to maintain like it's about friends. They'd cut out all of the stuff where there's breaking and entering or aliens or
all the crazy nonsense,
time travel phone calls. None of that would be in there. So in that way, it seems like the show is like has like a meta edge to it. But it only goes so far because we still want you guys to be able to like enjoy that part. Because if we were really strict about it, then we could try to cut out that stuff like as much as possible, but still have some of it in there. But then I think it would just be too, you'd have to be like a detective to enjoy the show, and that wouldn't be fun. So
everyone hates the police. So.
Everybody hates the cops. So
yeah, everyone loves the police.
Everybody hates the cops, man. Yeah. So,
Roxanne.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, those police. I get the joke. Anywho, there's are we running over a studio time? Someone's knocking on the door. Did we?
Is it Jim again?
I thought we had it booked for the whole hour. Hang on, let me go get that.
Jimmy told us you were here. What? Jimmy told us you were here, stepping on our turf.
What the heck? They look exactly like us.
He told us you were here. He told us. Come on.
Whoa. Take it easy.
Take over our show?
Take it easy, man.
Please don't. Please don't. Come on.
Dude, take it easy, man. Take it easy. If anyone's listening to this, they're after us.
No.
They look just like us. I don't know who these people are.
No.
I am you. No. You are me. You're done.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to TOWIDAP, episode 13, the one with the boobies. You already know what it is. It's the only podcast where we talk about every episode of the show Friends. I'm the host here in the booth with my co-host. Say what's up.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing, I'm a little frustrated right now. Because
I'll be honest, I am completely triggered.
We're pissed off. Our studio time got cut short due to...
Jimmy keeps yanking our chain, man.
Our assistant has really bungled it this time in terms of scheduling. So we're a little bit frustrated because our episodes can be a little shorter than normal. But let's just get into it, I guess.
Episode, man.
This is a good episode, and there's a lot to talk about. We're going to have to cut the fat, though, this time. Cut the fat and get straight to the point.
So it's all about boobs.
It's all about boobs. It's all about boobs. It's all about cheating. It's all about all the cool things that you can do. Bazongas. Hongabongas. And, well, let's just start with how the actually, this one, interesting because the like, theme song bit, I guess, starts really gets the show going as an important piece in kind of the plot. Quote unquote.
Yeah, most of the time, or actually, do those relate to the episode? I don't even remember.
Well, it was just kind of funny, a little funny bit, but actually, it wasn't that important because the main character in this episode is actually Joey. Right?
Oh, true.
Like he has the most important arc. Him and maybe Phoebe and the psychologist, but the boob thing is just kind of running gag. Now that I think of it, even though it's called that, like
that's
in
true.
Terms of. Yeah, that's because it even comes up in the end of credits.
I think it's really just it's speaking to how everyone wants to see their friends' penises and boobs, and we all know it.
We all know it, but we're
it's not a sexual thing.
Like I would be unwilling to say to you, look you in the eye and be like, I want to see your dick. You know what? I don't want to. That's why I wouldn't say that to you. But
yeah, it's not sexual.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like that. But I would be too scared to look you in the eye and be like, hey, show me your penis.
But it might be in the back of your head.
But it's not in my case. But if this was in a
lot of people's cases.
In a lot of people's cases.
Not yours though.
I
Maybe a
might be
friend.
like, let me see your penis, but not for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Like just pull out your bazongazongs, you know?
Pull out your bazongazongs. Let me see them, but not me.
Like we just got to see what you're working with.
But not me. So
Because
that's
how can I
important.
wing man or wing woman someone if I don't know what they're working with?
That's a good point. Yeah, because you want to be able to speak truthfully. You don't want to be BSing. Don't be lying. So, a good point indeed.
Just how it is.
Just how it be, to be honest. Oh, man, what else happened in this episode?
Well, the whole Joey thing where his dad's been cheating for 6 years, but his mom actually knew about it, which surprised Joey.
Right, yes. Because Friends is a progressive show, which is what we've been saying forever now.
Yep, open relationships.
Open relationships.
In the 90s, ladies and gentlemen.
So what if one of the characters, they're all white, all right? Because they're not. Ross is Jewish. So.
Yeah, Jews are not white.
It's. It's different. So.
Yeah.
Checkmate. So don't try to get up on Friends and be like, hey, this show isn't progressive, because it is, all right? Back up.
And Rachel's hot. Chill out. And
all the
we all know
hot.
Monica's actually hotter.
Yes, all of the characters are attractive. So shut up. Shut the fuck up about Friends.
Yeah, we've been through this a million times. If you're attractive, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Sorry, we're a little irritable if you can't tell, because, we're almost already when we have to talk about ads. Like in this early in the show, we haven't even got to talk about all the things we want to talk about, which everybody knows there's a ton of things to talk about in every Friends episode.
True.
So we're just a little upset, and we're gonna have to skip viewer mail. So yeah, the people who took our studio time, that's basically just a big middle finger,
viewers.
to all the people who, all
the fresh princers,
all the fresh princes. So yeah. Phoebe, her boyfriend's a jerk. We hate him. Don't try to diagnose the friends. Don't tell them their friend group is dysfunctional. Fuck you. Fuck you. What's even his name? I don't know. Bono. Fucking C-tier Bono. Fuck him, dude. Fuck him.
He's actually Roger, I think. But
I'm sorry for the editor. There's gonna be a lot of fucks that you're gonna have to get rid of. So
yeah, fuck is not very ad friendly.
Nope. Speaking of ad friendly, we got an ad from
Quip, designed with every mouth in mind. When dentists and designers work together to create a simple, affordable, surprisingly enjoyable oral care service for everyone, starting with a better electric toothbrush. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/TOWIDAP right now, you'll get your first refill pack free with a Quip electric toothbrush.
I love Quip.
Check them out.
Great. Check them out.
Every time, well, I mean, not every day, but like when I brush my teeth, I use these guys.
Yeah, I mean, because it's my toothbrush. So what other, it's the best. We recommend it. Thanks for sponsoring the show. Always appreciate your company and what you guys do. Yeah. Anything, I mean, like I said, we're cut short for time. Is there anything else we want to talk about? There's motorcycles going by, of course, because our studio time is worth thanks to rush hour. So
yeah, it's freaking stupid.
Yeah, very frustrating.
Worst week ever.
Yeah, probably. But thanks so much for listening to the show, guys. We appreciate you. Even on these brief, basically check-in episodes. Hope you're doing good, staying home, staying safe, and doing your part in these trying times. So, yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.